We've lost to these market 14 times in a row. Hello world and welcome back to Gridiron Campbell, the only podcast that puts its money where its mouth is. I'm your host, Rich Ryan, and I'm joined by the entire collective, the Disciple, Brett Colson, Donnie, DP Peters, and the resident moose himself, Mo Nuwara. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. Ring that bell for notifications whenever we put up a new video, like Breaking the Boxes, which is a weekly show where I go through the standard box scores along with some EPA data. It's a video show. It's also in podcast format for those who are listening. And those listeners, we do ask you to please rate and review the show on your podcatcher of choice. 5 stars only, like Nelson Aguilar. Not a good week for the collective. We did not even recap. I was sour. I didn't even ask the fellas if they wanted to recap. Mo is too busy going nuts deep in a poker tournament, which he came runner-up in. Congratulations to Mo. Let me give you some money bet sounder for that. 1-4 on the card. Lost 2 survivor entries thanks to Russell Wilson's horrendous soft fumble. Driving to extend the lead to 20 plus, right? It would have been a 20-point game. And instead he fumbles and the commies go down and score before the half and come back and win the game outright. We should have done better, I think, on the card. Brett, DP, and Mo did go 2-3. I went 1-4 mirroring the card, so I feel like we ran bad in not getting a reverse body blow. But
get your push, Mo. Get your push in there.
Mo got a push?
Mo was 2-2-1.
Yeah, I actually scored 2.5 points.
What was the push? Sorry.
Carolina.
Oh, I forgot that fake comeback.
It's okay. I mean, Rich just tries every chance he can to drag me down, but
I stopped paying attention to that.
I'm just going to still be here and probably score the most points at the end of the year.
I stopped paying attention when the Saints were up multiple scores and the Panthers had no business being in that game. Mo, congratulations. Well done.
Thanks, buddy.
Are you salty about it? It's what poker's so dumb in that all of the money's up top. Donnie always says it's top 3, and then from there, whatever. That's always Donnie's motto.
Yes, he's absolutely right.
But it's like one of those things where like you get so far, you get past, in this case, hundreds of entries, and then all of the equity's on the line, and it's still just a game of 60-40s, and you're praying that your shit holds. And unfortunately for you, in massive leverage situations, it didn't hold.
Yeah, 60-40s were not my jam when we got heads up, unfortunately. So, yeah, had a big lead, but just couldn't win an all-in, basically, is what happened. And when you are up against a bad player, you can probably overcome that in some spots. Unfortunately, my opponent, while he was a little bit out of his depth shorthanded, is a pretty solid player. So he knew what he was doing, and when he's winning the all-ins, it's just going to be tough to win. So did come up a hair short, but it was good battles. It was fun.
Poker, the only place where you can win 70K and be absolutely miserable because you didn't get
definitely not miserable. I did really want to win it though, for non-monetary reasons. That one's in my backyard, biggest event we have in that casino. So I did really want to win it. Unfortunately, did not. But I've always definitely wanted to win that one. If that one compared to any other was same prize pool, I would pick that one by far, not even close.
Well, let's get into the football action this week. And as always, one thing actually real quick, for those of you watching on YouTube, Superfan Keith, a goat, someone who's been listening to us, 5 Kids All In, who's been just driving around the entire Northeast listening to us do podcasts all the way back to the Poker News days. He made a suggestion that there should be some sort of signifier that when the graphics come up that this game is in that host's top 5. So I'm going to put a star next to the team's logo to signify that that is in that host's top 5. And let's get into the split games where 2 hosts are on one side and 2 hosts are on the other, and we'll start with the New Orleans Saints, who travel to the Green Bay Packers. And once again, I'm unfortunately missing the sounder. Go, Pack, go. And nobody has as high as an opinion as Brett in this game, and he is backing the road dog, New Orleans Saints, coming off a bit of a short week to take on a Packers team that's getting a little bit healthier as compared to last week. Brett, tell us why you like New Orleans so much in the spot.
Are they getting healthier?
Well, what's up with this Bakhtiari thing, right? Because is he really injured, or is it a turf thing? Is he just done playing football? Is he just collecting checks? I don't understand what Bakhtiari's doing.
I don't know either, but if he's not playing and now Jenkins is out on that Packers offensive line this week, on top of all the other injuries that team's dealing with on offense, I think this is wrong team favorite. I think that this should be Saints minus because trenches. I think the Packers are going to get absolutely steamrolled.
What in the world?
Wait a minute.
What?
I mean,
have you mortgaged the house now? I mean, what is going on?
I think it should be Saints -1, given everything that the Packers are dealing with on offense right now. And I think the Saints offense also gets better. Jamal Williams was a negative to that offense. You get more speed, more playmaking ability on the offense now with Kendre Miller in there.
Listen to
Carr
Brett. Listen to Brett. All these fantasy idiots. Something called Kendre's never played a snap
Miller.
of pro football.
Anybody.
And all of a sudden,
anybody over Jamal Williams. Literally anyone over Jamal Williams. He brought nothing to that offense. This is wrong team favored. This should be Saints -1.
This is squarely in coin flip territory to me. I think this line is perfect. The Packers. Every week I want to love the Packers, but I find a reason not to. I actually did click the Packers here, but quite low. And this week I'm very suspicious of some of these EPA numbers in favor of Jordan Love because his success rate is in the dumps. So he's getting by making all these big plays. That being said, I still trust in their passing offense way more than the Saints, but squarely coin flip territory for me. DP, you had a much higher opinion on the Packers, so I'll let you pick up the shield for Green Bay.
I mean, I'm not really going to be, running through a wall here for Green Bay, but I don't know. I look at this Saints team. They're 2-0. I feel like they should have lost that first game against the Titans. I feel like they're kind of overachieving a little bit. I can't wrap my head around the Derek Carr stuff in the red zone. I mean, it's just like, Rich, you've said it multiple times. You put it on social media, etc. He's just allergic to scoring. It's unbelievable, this guy. Now he's got to go on a road and in a pretty tough place to play overall. I mean, outdoors, I don't know. I feel like this is a pretty fair line. I might even give the Packers 2.5 here, but I mean, ultimately, I'm not going to go too crazy. The Aaron Jones thing, I think, to me, is like where I would ultimately fall if I had to pick a side. If Aaron Jones ends up going, I'll side the Packers, and I would be willing to put him a little bit higher. If he doesn't go, then I'd probably still side Packers, but also not really want to touch it.
Name a bigger rivalry than Derek Carr versus the end zone. It's hard to find one. Something groupie. It's my guy. The only other split game is Broncos at Dolphins.
Miami and the Dolphins, the greatest football team.
DP has the highest opinion on this game, laying the 6.5 in the contest with the Miami Dolphins. DP, talk about the fish.
This is probably, in the words of Mo, the fish side, just because it's the popular side. But, this card overall, I know I'm on a handful of popular sides, but I couldn't really get around it, so if you guys want to yell at me, go ahead. But I think this one should be 7 or 7.5. I'm sorry. I mean, how the Broncos going to score? Against the best offense, best team in football right now? I think the Dolphins are great. I think we know that. I think on offense, they're awesome. I think they're going to score a lot of points here, like they have shown to be willing to do, or be able to do, I should say, all season long. I think this defense is going to continue to get better under Vic Fangio, and I don't know. I don't know how, in your right mind, you can click the Broncos in any sort of spot. I just don't know how you can do that this season until they turn things around, because I don't know what this team is. They look like a disaster all the time. I don't know what Russ is. And if Russ is going to be forced to be throwing the ball here, I mean, what is that going to look like? It feels like it's going to look like a mess. So, yeah, I'm on the Dolphins.
I think what you just said there may be the exact reason why one person clicked the Broncos here. And I know one person that won't be yelling at you, who is also on the fish side for the fish, and that's Mo Nuwara, laying the points with Miami. Talk about it.
Well, I will say, okay, the Jalen Waddle injury is pretty massive. So I don't know what's going to happen there. If he doesn't go, I'd be pretty concerned, mainly because Miami has atrocious depth at wide receiver. Braxton Berrios, sorry, Rich.
Not a big River Craycraft. What do you mean Braxton
Not a
Berrios?
big River
Sorry, Rich.
Craycraft
I
guy,
hated
and-
Braxton Berrios. I thought that was one of the worst contracts the Jets ever gave out. $10 million they gave to Braxton Berrios to play football last year. Are you kidding me?
Right. So like these third and fourth string wide receivers, I mean, it would be different if they still had like Mike Gesicki. He's gone. Okay. He was a helpful receiver at times. But yeah, I think the Broncos might have a really bad defense. That's my fear here with Broncos. Like, what if they're just bad? Dude, they lost their coordinator who was very good, I think, and pretty well regarded. And seems to be doing just fine in Carolina, I believe. And multiple key performers on that defense. Like, I think everyone just, okay, the Broncos were very good on D. They got Patrick Surtain still. This is going to be a good defense. I mean, coming in from the start of the season, it looked like their pass rush might be horrible. And it's kind of horrible, I think, because they couldn't get to Washington. So I think if this is a bad defense, which it looks like, and then you got Vic Fangio factor. I know Donnie already mentioned him, but what if they get the chance to run it up on Fangio's old team?
Revenge, baby.
I bet they do it.
The problem is Vic Fangio's defense has sucked so far in Miami. I was okay with it against the Chargers. Great passing offense. Herbert is a legend. Dude, Mac Jones shredded the Dolphins last week. He was very comfortable back there, throwing to something Bourne and something Booty and all these randoms running around for New England. And I hate to say this, Mickey Doft, I know you're listening to this on a Saturday night, getting your DFS lineups ready for tomorrow's action for you. But isn't this a must-win game for the Broncos? Like, their season spirals entirely at 0-3, right? Brett, you're
Who
putting
does
your
that
hand over
matter
your
for?
face.
Who
but
does that matter for?
Russell Wilson and them boys.
Russell Wilson does not care about winning. I'm sorry.
What?
Okay, that guy does not care about winning. He cares more about running around and being a celebrity. Does not care about winning.
The other players don't care about winning for Russell Wilson. I can tell you that much.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Exactly.
Brett, you put your hand on your face, but part of that has to go into this cap. They have to be competitive here.
The players probably feel like it, yes, but obviously it's not a must-win game. We can put it a stop.
Clearly, math.
Donnie asked how the Broncos are going to score, but yeah, I'm more concerned about how they're going to get a stop. The offense has actually been quite good this year. They lead the NFL in trips to the red zone through 2 games, which is wild. They could be 2-0 easily right now. And if you look through their numbers, especially on the offensive side of the ball, the metrics support that. Like, this offense has been good. So that's why I clicked Denver. I think their stock could not be any lower right now. The problem is Miami could be a top 3 team in the NFL, and Denver does not have the personnel it had last season on defense.
What do you mean
that
could be a top 3 team?
They might be. I don't think they are, but they're right up there.
The Dolphins, the greatest football team.
Numero uno. This is
come on.
also...
Give me 3 teams ahead of the Dolphins.
I can give you 5.
Where did Mo have...
5.
I need Mo's fake power rankings this week. Where are the Chargers?
I don't remember. I had the Dolphins high. I still had the Chargers like 10th.
Do you have the Dolphins
probably.
like 12? Like you had the Eagles 7? Or
Yeah,
whatever?
are the Eagles 15th this week?
6th.
All right, I've got them up. I had Dolphins 6.
6.
And Mo had them
Who is
5.
ahead of them? Please.
What?
Bills 4, Bills 5, Niners 4, Eagles 3, Cowboys 2, Chiefs 1.
Okay, that's all reasonable. You could have defenses for all this. That's fair. I don't know about these Niners, man. I think the Niners are very fraudulent.
Like, Purdy is...
I think that's a big part of it. They're
fraudulent,
beating up on some awful teams right now, including the Giants right now as we record. Very interested to see when they play a real team. One last point about this Broncos-Dolphins game before we get into the Lone Wolves, and this will come into a game that is in the Lone Wolves segment, I believe. Wait 1 second. Yes. Has to be in the Lone Wolves. Yes, it is in the Lone Wolves segment. Producing. This is a bit of a sleepy spot for the Dolphins. Big game next week against those Buffalo Bills. Just need to get out of this with the dub. They obviously don't care about covering. They don't care about the amount that they win by. They just need to try to get a win. So maybe a little sleepwalk first half for the Dolphins in this spot. All right.
Can I ask you guys a question?
Go for it.
This is just has to. Does Daniel Jones know wide receivers exist?
Well, do they roster wide receivers on the Giants? I saw people were buzzing about Wandale was coming back. I was like, he's still a thing?
Dude, I've been watching this game since like mid-first, and I don't know if I've seen a single target to a wide receiver.
Oh, man.
Tight ends and running backs.
The Daboll way. All right, let's take a quick break. And it's time for some Lone Wolves. Every single member of the collective has a lone wolf in their top 5, including Mo, who is ready to circle the wagons.
The Bills make me wanna.
Why is this a bad pick?
For those of you that listen to the other show, hashtag beat the closing number. You guys got to rebrand. I didn't know that. Beat the closing number with Eli. Mo is all over the Buffalo Bills in this spot, and he is perplexed to find out that he is a lone wolf.
Bills versus a bad team. What's been happening for years when the Bills play these bad teams? They win by 30.
Are the Washington?
They always win by 30.
Are the Washington, formerly
Yes,
racial slurs,
stop it. You stop it right now.
formerly football team, now
I'm not going to
comes
listen to this. They
a
stink.
bad team?
They stink.
what
They
were
have
your
Sam
priors?
Howell, a bad offensive line. They stink.
Sam
The Bills
Howell
are going
made
to
some
mollywop them unless the
mollywopping.
weather gets bad. This
That's
is where
the
I'm
thing,
a little
is
bit
the weather.
scared.
I'm seeing 35% chance of rain, some wind, 12 miles an hour. I thought Sam Howell threw some dots last week. He was ripping it there. It was much improved compared to the Cardinals game.
It's the Bills. Look who the Washington has played.
Exactly. It's
Denver
the Bills.
stinks.
Look who Buffalo has played.
And they destroyed.
They lost to the
The
Jets.
In the most obvious
I don't
get-right
care.
spot probably in the last 10 years of football.
Dude, they lost to Zach
Agreed.
Wilson.
Yes. Okay.
On the road.
But look at the way the Jets defense has defended them. They're great against them. Okay. I'm willing to put that game aside. Josh Allen gets wrecked by the Jets. That's fine. Whatever. They're very good. This is not the Jets.
If you like Buffalo here, you must like the over then as well. 40, because your narrative is that the Bills are just going to be a wagon.
Why not? Sam Howell's actually going to be under pressure this game. The Bills have a pretty good pressure rate, middle of the pack. They never blitz.
Last in blitz rate.
They're
yeah.
actually going to win up front versus this god-awful offensive line that Arizona was abusing. My only
This is
worry,
one of those where
like I
Mo
said-
saw one play of somebody getting
No, I
beat.
watched that whole game. Arizona was abusing that O-line.
He's going to keep this until like midseason.
Well, I was watching Arizona, the Arizona Cardinals. Do you guys understand? The Arizona Cardinals
Are almost 2-0.
wrecking them up front.
Kursky, AF.
The Bills have a real pass rush. This isn't Denver. Denver has no pass rush.
DP is the highest. He's been quiet on the Commanders. Take it away, DP.
I mean, I think Washington's front can get after Josh Allen, who is probably going to look like a total idiot in this game. I'm sorry, Mo. He just is. Combine that with bad weather. I mean, if you really want to have some fun, just parlay the Commanders with the Josh Allen interception. And let's go. Take it to the effing bank. Come on, baby. Mo, this feels like the anti-Mo pick. The team that went out and blew doors last week in the most obvious spot in the universe.
Just lining up.
Because this
And
is
now
the
he's just
same
going to lay
game.
6.5 on the road in a
The
game when
Raiders
a
and the
hurricane's coming to
Commanders
town.
Are the same.
No way.
They're
He
both
can't let this week 1 game go. He
below
cannot let this Commanders game
average
go.
Teams
Commies would be minus
6-7 win
minus
teams
minus
who are
3
gonna
on
get destroyed.
Commies would be minus
by the
3 on
Bills.
neutral against the Raiders.
Stop. That's just silly.
Passing offense.
You know that's not true.
Passing offense. Passing offense. Passing offense.
Exactly.
Yeah, something How's way better than Jimmy G.
What are you talking about, man?
Oh my god. That's a take.
Sam Howell, it's the boat meme from Family Guy. You know, when he gets a boat and then there's a box. He's like, anything could be in the box. Could be a boat in the box. That's what Sam Howell is.
I honestly thought that like Mo, Brett, like you guys would for sure slam this into your top 5. Like this seems like the most obvious play for you guys.
I did.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, well, what is Mo doing over there?
I don't understand either.
I guess I'm being a dummy. I don't know. I need to see Washington look halfway decent against a team that I don't think is terrible.
They've been exactly halfway decent.
Okay, and what do you need to see from the Bills? What have the Bills done this season? Please tell me, because the Raiders are horrendous and have a bad defense. And the Bills blew them out, yes, in a perfect spot. Like what? The Bills look horrible in week 1.
Is the Raiders. That's what they are. You're going to look at the standings at the end of the year, and both of these teams are going to be 6-11. That's what you're going to see.
I remember in the offseason, Mo, you yelled at Donnie for referencing records. He referenced the Vikings record, and he almost left the pod. Now you're just busting
I'm
a
just
record.
saying. I'm not saying it because I can't predict luck.
This smells like it is going to be an all-time bad Josh Allen game, and everyone's going to be losing their minds about it.
This has Tyler Bass 47-yard game-winning field goal written all over it.
I acknowledge that that's within reason, but every time the Bills are playing these teams, they crush them, and the teams they struggle with is Dolphins and Jets. For whatever reason, they can't beat those teams. Or they can't destroy them. I'm willing to put that aside. And even still, they still pretty much crushed the Dolphins defense for most of those games. Even when they struggled, it was their own defense that was struggling. I don't think they're going to struggle against Sam Howell. The Jets defense has their number. Good for them. You should be proud, Rich. They have a great defense.
If Joe Burrow isn't the new coin, then it's got to be Brock Purdy. This guy could throw a ball into 19 defenders, and somehow it'll find a Niner. It's actually unbelievable. Mo's next game, laying all the points. Donk Mo over here. Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, this is the weirdest game of the week.
Okay, I didn't even cap this game.
I didn't
guys.
either.
What are you guys doing here? This has 41-0 and the Bears quit written all over it. They don't even have a coach.
But that's why you have to click the other.
Have a defensive coach.
Well, Eberflus is a defensive guy, and he called the plays last week, so that's not too much of a concern. But
the entire team.
But what you just said is exactly why you click the Bears and just
no. What this has?
Yeah, no, I was Mo. I originally looked at this one and I was with you, and then I was like, why can't this just be 24-13, 21-10? I mean, Chiefs offense isn't exactly the wagon that it has been. Like, whatever, no big deal. And everyone's gonna be on the Chiefs. Everyone, especially after what's going on right now.
Nobody is
think so.
Every single
you guys know that.
Nobody backs these huge numbers.
It never happens. They didn't even want to take the Cowboys when everyone in the world besides Rich knew that the Jets weren't going to score 14 points.
Well, Idiot Sharp steamed the Jets on Sunday as well. The steam got crushed on Sunday. Every single game got obliterated by the steam. Yeah, what the hell do we do with this game? Nothing. Let's just move
Justin
on.
Fields is sitting there throwing the coaching staff under the bus.
Well, as he should.
I mean, this is full revolt, dude. This is full mutiny. This is like we could see.
Honestly,
anything
that might help the Bears in this situation if Fields just goes out and does his thing, just runs around like a maniac.
Who was that corner for the Colts who quit at halftime? We might see half the Bears team do that.
He was a Bill, right?
That was for the Bills. He was for the Bills. I was at that game. That was week 1. Wait, why isn't this guy on the field? Where'd he go? I don't think it's hard for me to lay 13 with a team that has not established an identity in the passing game yet.
Well, what's scary is that
the Chiefs have been bad,
but the Chiefs defense has been so good, and the Bears offense has been so bad that there are Chiefs defensive scores in the range of outcomes.
It's a bad quarterback in Arrowhead in a negative script. Yikes. When the whole team sounds like they're quitting. I can't do it. I can't click Bears.
I mean, this to me, this is the most obvious. This should be 45-0. And that's why you got to take the Bears.
That's it.
I mean, I'm sorry.
That's absolutely
the
the
Chiefs
cap.
never cover in those spots. They never cover in those spots.
I mean, you're right. But I'm saying quit is within reason. The Q word it could happen here.
The ugly Q word. And Mo, to cap it off, a third team laying a heap of points, this one on the road. He's got them Dallas Cowboys traveling to Arizona to take on the Cardinals. All the fish
I have
sides.
zero confidence in this one, but I have to say everything on the field tells me the Cowboys should easily win this game by 20 plus. All that being said, though, I cannot imagine a flatter spot than this one. So I can hear it. I mean, the Cardinals are atrocious. Everyone knows they're atrocious. Dallas knows they're going to win. They can turn it on whenever. And then to top it off, their guy tears an ACL. I feel like this has come out first quarter so sleepy and then maybe turn it on later. But they could still cover doing that because the Cardinals are so bad. And look what Dallas does to bad offenses, dude. You can't get a yard on them.
Such a sleepy spot. I'm somehow the highest on the Cardinals here. I don't have a single confidence point on them, but it's one of those, it's a fake road trip. It was like the Houston game last year, one of those fake road trips where you're not even traveling that much and you don't have to go that far. And they're not going to take this game seriously. And they're
They're not going to take it seriously. This is the game where the Cowboys 2-0 have been blowing doors all season, are going to be the stupid Cowboys. They're going to have to win on like a last-second field goal. It's going to be so dumb, and everyone's going to be questioning the Cowboys. Doesn't this always happen with them?
certainly smells like it. And on top of that, I mean, the Cardinals, they're completing forward passes. They've played much better than the Bears so far, right? Like, something Dobbs can move the football a little bit. I mean, I guess they took the second half off last week against the Giants after getting up.
They're playing atrocious teams.
Yeah, very fair.
Yeah, but they might not be the worst team in football.
This is the Cowboys.
For sure. But the Cowboys have also feasted off horrific teams too. So we haven't.
That's what this is, though.
Yeah, but if anyone lets down, you know it's Dallas. Like in any spot.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to argue that for sure. This is a flat spot. If somebody told me coach's numbers were dialed in this week, we're coming out hot, I'd be like, all right, Cowboys are winning this game by 24. But I don't know if they're going to be like excited for this game.
All right, we'll go to my pair of lone wolves, and the one that I have in my top 5 are the Minnesota Vikings, who are laying 1 point in Circa. This was a look ahead of 1.5 in favor of the traveling Los Angeles Chargers, but I'm buying the steam in this spot. It is an absolutely brutal travel rest spot for the Chargers, who flew across the country to play Tennessee, back across the country to Los Angeles, and now will be flying to Minnesota after playing an overtime game, while the Vikings have just been kicking back and chilling on the mini bye after playing Philadelphia on Thursday night. The Chargers are giving up all these massive explosive plays, last in pass defense EPA, last in pass defense DVOA, and if the Vikings are good at anything, it's throwing the ball. Something Addison has not been very efficient. He's like the Russell Wilson of receivers. He doesn't get a lot of volume, but when he does, it's a 60-yard touchdown right in your face. So Kirk has been fine when he's clean. Chargers aren't generating any pressure, 29th in pressure rate, despite blitzing at the 4th highest rate in football. So I don't know. I believe in the steam. I think the Vikings can go out and have their way. And the Chargers, man, they just have the stink on them, Brett. They have the stink. When are you going to quit?
That's why you have to bet the Chargers.
When are you going to quit the Chargers?
Never. I can't lay a point with Minnesota against Herbert. The Chargers actually threw the ball downfield last week, and the offense was clicking. We were talking before the show, and I asked if the Chargers' offense is actually better without Eckler, because they get so comfortable and reliant on him when he's on the field. They forget that their quarterback has a rocket for an arm. They've got these guys who can get downfield and make plays. Like, Herbert was lighting it up last week. So why can't they do that again this week? And I believe that this defense is better than they have shown for the past 3 years.
Keep believing,
It's regression
buddy.
week.
3-year sample size, but they're better, guys. They're better.
I know.
With a defensive head coach, too. Neither Mo nor DP could muster any strong opinion on this game, so we'll move to my other lone wolf, which is a double sounder game, I believe, right? Yes. I am taking the Atlanta Falcons, who travel to Detroit Motor City, to take on the Detroit Lions. Mo is shaking his head, and this is just Mo clinching onto his priors and refusing to release his bias. Because while the Falcons play completely unconventional football in 2023, they're just kind of doing it. Desmond Ridder is not a good quarterback, but does it matter when you get that much protection up front and your running game is that dynamic? And for Detroit, their entire offense is reliant on elite offensive line play, and you're looking at 2 offensive linemen who are likely to miss this game. Last week, a very bad Seahawks defense was able to generate pressure and generate turnovers against the Lions, and the Falcons, who have a much better defense than Seattle, are certainly capable of doing the same. So I'll take the steam here as well. This was a 5.5 look ahead. It's down to 3 in real life and in the contests, and give me the Falcons.
So you're taking the bad number. Makes sense.
I said I'm taking the steam.
I don't know what you mean, but
I believe in the steam. The people who are betting Atlanta and bringing this down, I think they're correct.
if they thought that 3 was a good number, then the line would be 2.5. So this is the worst number yet.
No shit.
So
I understand that. I'm just saying
taking the worst number possible.
I'm just saying that I think the steam is correct. That this is where the line should be. Tell me why I'm wrong.
The look-ahead market was 6.
Tell me why Jared
for
Goff.
A reason.
Tell me why.
Because Detroit is better than Atlanta.
At
That's
what?
why. At football. This is football. And their team is good, and the Falcons' team is bad.
The Falcons are going to be 11-6, and Mo is just going to continue to martingale against them.
I will be. I'll still be
All
firing.
the money he
against
just
the Falcons.
won on Monday is going to be
gonna
gone
be
because he's just fading the Falcons every week.
Dude, it matters when you have a bad quarterback and you're playing a good team on the road. It's going to matter.
A good team
This
on the
line
road.
is telling me Detroit is barely
Littered with
better
injuries.
than the
Littered with
Falcons.
injuries at positions that are extremely important.
Like what? Like the secondary?
Yeah,
Who's gonna
Desmond Ritter's
exploit
going to
it?
take advantage of
Who's
that.
going to exploit it? You tell me. Kyle Pitts, is he going to get more than 3 targets? Tell me, Rich.
I'm talking tackle.
What are they gonna do?
I'm talking tackle.
They're just going to... Dan Campbell, he's going to get bodies in there. He's fine. The Falcons are atrocious. They cannot complete forward passes.
DP, you were
really
also
needed
high
to.
on Detroit.
I mean, I'm with Mo. I got to take the team that I believe has a 2023 NFL passing offense, and I got a quarterback in Desmond Ridder that is going up said passing offense, and I just don't think they're going to be able to get it done and score with this Lions team. I just don't see it happening. So that's where I'm at.
What if they don't
Think
have
about
to?
how bad
What if they don't
the
have to?
Panthers are,
What if
and then realize they outplayed the Falcons.
You keep saying
Think
this.
about that.
What?
They did.
They didn't.
If Bryce Young didn't hand them the ball 3 times,
What if the Falcons' defense is good? What if the
they
Falcons
are good.
So why can't I don't understand.
But they're not just going to get handed the ball 3 times for whatever, free points. The Packers did not play well, yes, and the Falcons played well, but we knew that was a great matchup for them. We knew that.
And why? I mean, even if the Falcons' defense is good, Detroit's offense has looked good.
It
all
hasn't though. It looked like
What do you
dog
mean?
shit
It
last
went
week.
into Kansas City, a horrible
They
place to
scored
play against a
30
good defense,
points.
and won that game. They put up more than 30 on the Falcons. They couldn't stop the Seahawks. They couldn't stop the Seahawks. So, like, what? I mean, what?
They got their
looked fine.
asses kicked last week, and then
I want a pizza.
and then
you give me a pizza
and then
on
crawled
this
back.
minus
I'll take the
3.
5.5.
What?
You just yelled at me for taking a bad number.
I'm about
I don't
to
want to
leave
take.
this
I
show.
don't want to take a bad number. I'm learning from the best.
That is the number. Detroit's going to roll. Detroit by 10.
Let's
There
move.
you go. Give him 5.5.
Exactly. Split the difference.
I should, but I'm going to go put 6 pizzas on the better line and have 6 pizzas instead.
Let's go to DP, who is back all the way in with his buddy Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots. Welcome back, DP. The blinders are on.
The blinders are on. I mean, come on. 0-2 Bill Belichick against a team he absolutely despises, a quarterback that he absolutely crushes. Get out of here. Get out of here. The Patriots are going to win this one.
We should tell the people.
They're probably going to win it fairly easy.
They can see it on the screen. It's New England at. New England are 2.5-point favorites in the contest, which is Circa predicting a move off of the current number of 3. And DP thinks that Bill's just got Zach's number. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
That's what everybody, literally everybody is saying.
I know, and I told you earlier there are some fish sides that I'm on. What do you want me to do? That's where I landed this week. But you know what? It's week 3 of the contest, so I don't exactly need to go max leverage right now. Let's just get some damn wins. We went 1-4 last week. Can we just right the ship a little bit, please?
Brett is the highest on my beloved Jets, so I will let him take it away.
Yeah, I mean, this number's begging you to buy into the Belichick versus Zach Wilson history. And I'll admit, it is difficult to click on Jets here, but I think you just have to do it at home in what might be a weather game, ugly. Just give me the points with Zach and this elite defense against Mac Jones. I think this is a pretty obvious one.
Better yet, find someone to tease the Jets with. No way are they losing by double digits, right?
Depends.
Although this could be, I mean, a Patriots defensive touchdown is guaranteed here, right? Like, we just bake that in.
I mean, if there was ever...
Like, that's going to happen.
If there was ever a spot, Patriots missing half their cornerbacks. Marcus Jones has missed practice twice this week. If there was ever a spot. At home, crowd behind him. But I'm deathly terrified of him seeing ghosts with Bill Belichick calling plays.
That
on
was
the
the other
Was that
bad
Zach or
Jets
Darnold?
It was Sam.
Yeah, that was Darnold, right? Okay.
We've lost to these market 14 times in a row. 14.
Is that
is
true?
All too familiar.
Make it 15.
They did that to us for a decade.
This
plus.
is going to be a horrific game. It's going to be like
That's why you take
17
the
to
points.
10.
That's why you have to take
It's going to
the
be
points.
17 to 10. No, I'm not taking the points if it's going to be 17 to 10. You got to give me 7 points. This ain't happening.
Another double sounder game in Donnie's Lone Wolves as the Carolina
Do we have
Panthers
any consensus this week?
travel to the Pacific Northwest to take on the Seattle Seahawks. This was -4 on the look ahead, but with the Bryce Young injury, it's crept up to 6 in real life. Circa has it at 6.5, predicting even a further move in the direction of Seattle, and DP is laying the wood with the Hawks.
Yeah, I mean, I had it kind of low overall, but I just can't support this Bryce Young-led offense. I mean, how can I? I mean, come on.
What if I told you
Oh, great. What?
Here it is.
Bryce Young isn't going to be out there and a solid veteran is?
Okay, if that's the case, then I reserve the right to tinker, but at this point where I stand, I got 4 yards per attempt or something absolutely absurd for this guy? I mean, get out of here.
I thought Dalton was already announced.
I think so.
Yeah, I think it's already a thing. Mo, go ahead. You were the highest.
Donnie's asleep at the wheel.
Again,
I looked over all the injury reports and I didn't see it, so what?
Who was moving the rock on the San Francisco 49ers last year, you guys.
Mo can't fold his priors. Absolutely loves the Panthers, loves this defense.
I like them because
Martingale-ing the
single-handedly Bryce Young is sinking this team.
I don't think
he
so.
He is
Who's open?
completely
Who's open?
and utterly
Who's open?
lost out there.
But who's open? Who's open? Thielen?
If somebody is, he ain't going to find him.
I don't think anybody's getting open.
Dalton
He looks
will.
like a high schooler. Come
Andy Dalton will.
Thankfully, the Seahawks stink. The Seahawks are bad on defense. Their offense can still cook. Gino's still that guy. But even then, DK has some rib cartilage issues. He only played about 2/3 of the snaps against the Lions. Didn't practice on
I
Tuesday.
think the entire Seattle roster is on the injury report.
Yeah, didn't practice Wednesday. That's the thing. Pete does that though. Pete's a little he's a little suspicious when it comes to the injury report.
Yeah, but a lot of these are DNPs, double DNPs. They had like 10.
Yeah. This is just way too many points. The Hawks are not they're just not that good a team. They can't be laying this many points to anybody in the league.
Not to Andy Dalton, baby. Against Bryce Young, maybe. Bryce Young is atrocious.
Why did this move 2 points when Andy Dalton's worth more to a betting line than Bryce Young?
The line hasn't adjusted, but he has to be. He has to be. Andy Dalton was pretty solid last year.
It's a very good question, Brett.
Maybe he can ignite some life into this offense. Like we saw it last year with the Saints. Wasn't that Thursday night game when they just went out and scored a bazillion points with Rashid Shaheed and a bunch of nobodies? He's done it before, but the Seahawks could also just run up 30 points any week. So that's why I did not have this one on my card. I want to love the Panthers here because real backup quarterback, especially when the backup quarterback is better than the starter.
Exactly. I thought you of all people would be all in with me here.
We'll go to.
It's hard. Like I was trying to look at the look ahead line last week, but that look ahead was so bad that I think it's like where it is right now is probably what the look ahead should have been because the Panthers.
Well, nobody knew Bryce Young was literally worse than like Jake Luton. I mean, you can't be worse than Bryce Young.
This is bad.
Dude, I bet the Panthers twice, so I was watching.
I know you're
these
martingaling.
games.
You can't fold your priors on the Panthers.
Awful. But the rest of the team is decent, I think.
I don't think anybody's getting open. I think that's part of the problem. They don't have any.
Their receivers are atrocious.
They don't have anybody. Who on this team can separate?
I can't argue with that. Okay?
Mingo is their best.
Something.
I don't even know what he is yet.
All right, Brett, we'll keep it with you, who has, guys, this is a stinky one. This is a Brett.
Of course. That's
classic.
why I love it.
He's got the Browns minus 3.5 in his top 5. How awful is this pick?
Because I like the number. This is a really good contest spot. Line moved 1.5 points toward Tennessee after the Chubb injury and that weird Browns loss that shouldn't have happened. How many points is Nick Chubb worth? Because it's not 1.5. So I look at this as a pretty high leverage opportunity with maybe even some line value. Even without Chubb, I just think the Browns are noticeably better than the Titans.
What
the Browns
line
tackles
value?
were if the look ahead was 4.5 and it's 3.5 now.
Maybe Deshaun Watson sucks.
He
Did you
probably
ever think
does.
of that?
There's
So
a
does
way
Ryan
worse
Tannehill.
quarterback on the Browns sideline, that's for sure.
I'm seeing a
come on,
total of
not way
39.5, which seems
What are you talking about?
way high.
Dude, Deshaun is horrific.
Yeah, Deshaun's bad.
Yeah, I'm with Rich. How is anyone going to score in this game?
It's a rock fight. The Browns defense is excellent. Like they might be better than the Cowboys.
Nobody's higher than me on the Browns defense.
They might be better than the Cowboys. No cap at dawn. But does it matter in a game that is an absolute rock fight where there's going to be no scoring and I don't trust Cleveland's offense to do much of anything. So this just screams you have to take the points. And I agree, Brett. The Titans might be super popular after everybody watched that slop of Cleveland in prime time.
That's it.
I don't know how you can avoid taking the Titans.
Deshaun is atrocious.
Anybody have a lot of
And
conviction in the Titans?
We all had the
Yes.
Titans top 5.
Wow.
Dude.
Wow.
Deshaun is more reliant on his supporting cast than like any quarterback since he's bottom 5. And his right tackle's out. His all-world running back is out. And Amari Cooper, I think he's going to play, but it doesn't look like he's 100%.
Back at practice today, yeah, for Amari. Yeah. It's bad in Cleveland right now.
The only score where the Cleveland Browns cover this game is 17-13 exactly.
Why is it bad in Cleveland?
This is going to be the number one play in the contest.
It is going to be number one.
Yeah.
I'm worried this is going to be popular too.
Yep.
Why is it bad in Cleveland? They're like 20-1 to win the Super Bowl right now.
Because their offense stinks. Like, the Falcons' offense stinks when you're in Mo's brain of you have to throw the ball in order to have a good offense. Whereas
You do.
Whereas
You do.
whereas the Browns offense can't do anything, right? Like they can't run or pass.
They can run.
At least the Falcons.
What do you mean they can't run? They've always been able to run.
With
You think they need Nick Chubb
the
to run the ball down the field? Because they don't.
I think Nick Chubb
He's great.
might matter.
I love Nick Chubb. He's great. He matters. But I think Jerome Ford and Kareem Hunt are going to be just fine.
That's not going to work against Tennessee, dude.
No
It's
home
not gonna.
Jerome.
I'm not saying they have to run the football against Tennessee. They might not have to score more than 7 points against Tennessee. I don't know how Tennessee scores in this football
you're
game.
right. I'm not going to argue. I was going to say when Rich was just the play here is alt under 27 and a half.
Yeah.
That's the play.
For sure. You're absolutely right about that.
Well, then you might as well parlay that with the Titans money line and just YOLO it. Come on, man.
Another one. Mo will never fold his priors on Tannehill. Number one Tannehill backer.
Why should
Well,
I?
he might be better than Deshaun.
look
I'll give Mo
fine.
that.
2-0 against the spread. Underdogs both games. Arguably could have been 2-0 straight up. Why not? What the Titans look fine.
They stink.
You. I was telling these guys before the show, Rich, you tried to gaslight me when I was going deep in that tournament, and you tried to tell me the Titans got lucky, like I made a bad bet. And then I looked back through the box score, and I looked through your show later where you had all the advanced stats, and it all said the Titans was a good bet. So you're just a bad friend. That's what you are.
I need to give you that extra little oomph in your fire so you could ravage a little bit. The Lone Wolves. Mo's on the Bills, Chiefs, and Cowboys. What is that? A combined 36 points that you're laying between those teams. I'm on the Falcons and the Vikings. DP is on the Pats and Hawks. And Brett is on the Browns. Let's see if we can try to find some consensus. It's time for the card.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, fire.
We won't find consensus with any of our individual picks except for mine. Obviously, the collective pick will be a consensus pick, but it's just me and the collective. The rest, we've got a pair of majority picks and one split game, which comes courtesy of Brett, who leads the way so far this year. Who's going on the card first, Brett?
The Saints are going on the card.
Who they think gonna beat them Saints? Saints.
They're gonna blow the Packers away.
There
This
it
gonna be
is.
close.
There it is.
This is my favorite play of the season so far.
This is going to be the best.
Wow, of the
They're gonna
That
be in
kind
the
of
red
confidence.
zone.
I'm all in on this game. Let's go.
Season.
Brett's got me believing now.
I mean, it's
Mo,
only
you
week
are-
3, but yeah.
Mo, you're up next. You've got a home favorite. Who do we got?
Restore the roar.
The Detroit Lions are on the card. DP is up next.
Can we revisit this one on Saturday? Because this Lions injury report is a nightmare. Like, what if ASB doesn't practice tomorrow for whatever reason?
He already practiced. He's good to go.
Yeah, I believe
Limited
they're-
today.
I believe
That'll be all
I believe
right.
they're putting a steel toe in his cleat, and he is a go. So barring an unforeseen setback, Amon-Ra will be in there.
Going to get a lot of Jahmyr Gibbs here, and I know we don't say running backs matter most of the time, but that could be really good here. Could be really good. He was looking good against the Chiefs, man.
Running backs mattering. DP, you're up next. You also have a majority pick. Mo, close your ears.
We're fading Josh Allen with the commies, baby.
That's right. Let's.
I don't care. I trust you guys.
Trust you.
Have your fun.
Yeah, there it is. Now the season started. Fun is going to be had. All right, I've got the first consensus pick going on the card, and this was a game where as soon as I saw the line, I loved it. I'm pissed that we are not getting the full 10 points and that Circa bumped this down to 9 in the contest. It is the Houston Texans traveling to Jacksonville to take on the Jaguars. CJ Stroud is a garbage time king. So in case of emergency, the back door is going to be wide open in this contest. And who knows, will we really need the back door? Because this Jags team has been pretty bad to start the season. Metrics are telling me the offense has been horrid. 31st in EPA per play, 30th in passing EPA. Obviously, some of that has to do with the fact that the Chiefs are really good on defense.
Dude, the Chiefs should have won that game by 17.
Yeah, they dominated Jacksonville, but I don't really trust what I'm seeing from the Jags defense. I kind of think that last week was more sleepy Chiefs than anything. So, yeah, give me CJ Stroud throwing to a couple of dudes that I actually really like. Tank Dell is interesting. Run around out there. Let's go, Houston. Let's go CJ Stroud. Anybody worried? Who's worried?
Yes, I'm worried. I wanted to love the Texans.
What is wrong with you?
I got two guys worried?
No, I'm not worried. Rich, I'll tell you that I originally had the Texans as my number one play.
Yes, let's go.
I wanted to love the Texans, but...
And also, just a quick aside, just find all the Nico Collins overs, favorable numbers that you can find, and just fire them.
Probably good.
Especially in a game like this where the back door will be wide open, as Rich mentioned, against a weak defense. Let's go.
But if Brett wants to revisit any injury reports on Saturday, this is the scary one, man. I mean,
that's why I'm scared.
Their whole secondary and their whole offensive line is out. I mean, this is crazy. I guess Laramie Tunsil's going to play. That's it. I think. Like, they're down like 4 starters on the O-line and like 3 in the secondary. This is crazy, man. It's all in the wrong spots, too, because they just have such good receivers in Jacksonville. I mean, man. I don't know how they're going to get a stop here, but man, you ain't kidding about CJ Stroud being the garbage time whiz.
Dude, for what, 350 last week? All of it in garbage time? Oop. I feel like I froze a bit there. Okay, we're back. 3, 2, 1. Okay, 2 majority picks, 1 split game, 1 consensus pick. Let's get another consensus pick on the card.
The collective chooses the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Brett is very happy to hear that top 5 is in our top 5.
Good job, guys.
Why do we like the Steelers?
What is
The Raiders stink.
one of the cardinal rules of betting pro football, Mo?
Don't lay points with bad teams?
Never lay points with bad teams. The Las Vegas Raiders are a bad team.
Aren't the Steelers better than the Raiders?
Were they favored in look-ahead markets? Why aren't the Steelers favored in this game?
I don't understand this line at all.
Well, you already mentioned something, Rich, in the other game. This is the same thing. I don't remember which other game it was, but this is short week, traveling cross country. It's a rough spot for the Steelers. That's honestly one of the things that scared me. And then also, I don't know if the Raiders are bad on offense because Jacoby Myers and Devontae Adams, I think, are going to play. So maybe they're decent. And then Deontay Johnson, I guess, is on IR. I was pretty surprised to see that. So I don't know, man. But I also am like, dude, look at who I like the Steelers coming into the season, and look who they've played, man. They've played 2 brutal defenses. Like, this offense has to be way better than it's shown.
And you've got the Raiders coming in. They can't get an ounce of pressure. Dead last.
It's Max playing alongside maybe the 3 worst defensive linemen in the NFL right now, starting. Like, it's so bad outside of Max. They got no pressure last week on that side of the football.
There's only one person in all of America that could blow this, and it is something Canada. He's the only guy that can blow it.
That meme in the Discord was hilarious.
Well, in the Lines Discord, what was the meme?
The biggest threat, somebody photoshopped old Fox News thing with the biggest threats to the world or whatever, humanity, and they put Matt Canada as number one. That dude is garbage.
I don't understand it. He must have something of Tomlin hidden somewhere. Yeah, he's the only one. So the card, Steelers from the collective. I've got the Texans. Brett has the Saints. DP's got the Commies. Mo has the Lions. If we are really pukey about this Texans injury report, I guess my next pick, because my next pick would be a lone wolf. I wouldn't do that to you guys. My next collective pick, a consensus pick, is a sounder on one side. And it's the Philadelphia Eagles traveling to Tampa Bay, where they're laying 5 points. Mo laying all the points with all the road teams this week. Look at him,
Eagles
grinning like an idiot over
I
there.
started looking.
You hate the Eagles.
I know, but dude, it's the opposite. Buccaneers is opposite of Steelers. Look who the Steelers have played. Look who the Buccaneers have played. They've played just the absolute worst defense, and then the Bears. I mean, I don't know. This feels like Eagles by 14 and just like, oh yeah, we're good, and the Buccaneers still stink. And this is the Baker Mayfield absolutely crumble like a cookie game where he's actually going to be under pressure.
The Bucks' fourth highest
I'm with
blitz
Mo.
rate. The last thing you want to do.
I hated this Bucks O-line. I think they're going to get embarrassed.
The last thing you want to do against Jalen Hurts is blitz, because it creates pitch and catch opportunities with him and those receivers. Yeah, this just screams Eagles up 20 into the fourth quarter. Shots of Todd Bowles staring into nothingness on the sideline. Eagles by infinity. The other three consensus games that we have not discussed in order of collective, two games that the collective was in favor of. The first one is, I guess if they got really mad, the Colts traveling to Baltimore to take on the Ravens. This is an interesting one because just like that Panthers game, we have a rookie QB who will be missing the game in favor of a veteran. But I actually think the market is getting this one wrong because they're acting as if Minshew equals Richardson, and I think Minshew is definitely a downgrade from Richardson, at least a point or two. They've been installing...
Especially in this offense.
That's right. They've been installing
the way
the Steichen offense.
wants to play it.
Yep, they've been installing it since spring. They've been focusing on these different concepts to run specifically for AR. And then you've got Minshew in there, who I think Minshew's one of those guys where he's not as good as everyone always says he is. Like, he's run around like an idiot and made a couple plays, so then everybody gets excited whenever he gets an opportunity to get in there. But nonetheless, I mean, the Ravens, man, they just can't stay healthy. This injury report just keeps getting worse and worse. Brett, you were the highest on the Colts. Nearly got them in your top five.
I mean, that was it. Like, when do these Ravens injuries begin to rear their ugly head? It hasn't happened yet. It's going to happen eventually. It happens every single time, and it might be this week. This is a lot of points to cover with an offense this beat up. I agree.
Sure.
I think Richardson's
Isn't this going to be super popular?
Far better.
You think the Colts are going to be popular?
No.
I think people love Minshew. They see the
I think he's right about that.
They see the injury report and they see the Ravens laying 8. And I'm just like, they're going to take this big number with Minshew and they think he's the best thing. Minshew's better, honestly, if he comes in the third quarter off the bench. They say, hey, you're in. He's hurt. Let's
Tony's
go.
right, I think.
Like,
yeah.
But Minshew coming in like as the guy? No, ain't it. Not in this offense either.
Yeah, I think that's a
Like
great
the Colts should have went out and like got Mariota to be the backup or something. Like you know what I mean? Like that way they have like that similar type of guy where you can run the same sort of stuff. Minshew's like not the guy for Steichen as far as I'm concerned.
I can't believe I'm saying it. ODB needs to cover his ears, but I agree with you guys. I think Anthony Richardson matters.
ODB is so happy. Don't be stubborn. See, you're changing, Mo. Mo's got a little money now.
ODB's
a new guy.
ODB's happy.
I was excited to bet the Colts this week. I thought the look-ahead line was like way too high on Ravens.
ODB's happy. He's got people around him that have stable heads on their shoulders and didn't allow him to go 100% on Texans.
Should have listened to the collective.
I love the Colts last week. I'm so mad we didn't have them on the card. The final consensus pick that will not be getting on the card, Rams at Bengals. Look at Brett shaking his head over there.
Well, I mean, what can you even do with this game?
He put the Bengals in his top 5. He's just
because it's the same thing as last week when I said I wanted the Chiefs if Kelsey didn't play. I want the Bengals if Burrow doesn't play.
It's just an agent of chaos over there.
I mean, Mo knows that Browning's my guy. That's why I
forgot about that.
Jeez, Browning.
He was pretty mediocre, I thought, at Washington.
I thought he was going to be the next Drew Brees, and there's still time. Maybe this is where it starts.
Jake Browning from Folsom, California, Mo. How many stars for one Jake Browning?
I think he was 5, but then I think he ended up being 4. But
a 5.9 4-star Jake Browning. Mo
this is just like the most
1,000.
Ridiculous game, though. Like, because the line's never going to be 3. It's not going to be 3.
No,
it's either going to be
number.
6.5 or Rams -1.
Yeah. And the Rams, I don't know what the hell I'm watching. I really don't. They feasted on a terrible Hawks defense, and then they feasted on some sleepy Niners who were up a bazillion.
Well, they shouldn't have covered. That was
just
an all-timer.
I mean, someone check McVay's all of his crypto wallets, because that was just the most insane field goal attempt.
He was just trying to help me out, pad my stats.
It's just embarrassing.
I don't know why the Rams would be favored if they're going against Browning. Maybe I'm wrong.
Well,
I still think the Bengals should be favored.
This is rule of threshold. I've got serious questions about this Bengals team with Joe Burrow. I'm going to have lots of questions about the Bengals without Joe.
We haven't seen Burrow yet. Like, this hasn't been Joe Burrow yet.
What if he just is? He's just a hack.
This is great. Now we're gonna get Rich going.
I think the calf is hurting him still. I mean, I think it's pretty obvious.
Oh, boo-hoo.
Listen, I'm generally with you, but I'm still saying I'm generally with you, but I'm just going to tell you that I think, it's probably hurting him a little bit. And he's just, get his shot up and get the hell out there.
Yeah, either get out there and play and don't play like ass, or don't play. It's pro football. You're throwing to Higgins and Chase. You've got the easiest job in football. You dump it off to Mixon.
If Burrow's named the starter by Saturday, can we put the Rams on the card?
Well, I don't know what's going on now. My face is melting off.
This is why you need.
Who's going to have the Bengals?
This is
literally everybody.
For those of you watching on YouTube, there's beneath all of us. There's a Bengals graphic, and next to Brett's, there's a star. I want to make sure. I think it's pointing this way because he has the Bengals in his top 5, and he just suggested if their quarterback is not playing, we should just pick the other side.
My play here is if Burrow doesn't play. If Burrow plays, I like the other side because literally everybody's going to take that line value, that free line value with the Bengals. And I don't trust Burrow this week. I don't.
Something
you understand?
I 100% understand.
Okay.
You're just contrarian monotic.
You're still insane. I mean, we can understand it, but you're still out of your mind.
What's
Okay.
the lowest DK lineup total ownership you've ever managed to put together? Have you ever gone sub 10?
In hockey, for sure. I don't think it's possible in NFL to go sub 10.
Yeah.
For you, it might be.
What's the most money you've saved?
Oh, a lot. That's where it gets fun.
He's building 15K lineup.
Just put together a really bad lineup that nobody else is going to have. It's all about that upside, though.
All right. Let's get to it. Donnie, as Obi-Wan Kenobi was once told, not said, but once told by Princess Leia, you are our only hope. So what's going on, DP?
Well, I mentioned having the Texans as my number one originally, and then I said, well, the Jaguars to me look like the clear-cut survivor play. So I was like, that seems like I can't put the Texans number one. I know they're getting 9, so it's, it's different. But, I just felt a little bit weird doing that, so I ultimately moved the Texans down. But I think it's the Jaguars this week. I would have had the Bengals in consideration pending we had a healthy Joe Burrow. But obviously we don't. We don't know we're going to get there.
Well, if Browning's in there, we should snap put them
yeah,
in.
we should just go nuts, right?
Sounds like we should go Rams if Burrow's in.
Can we look at week 12?
And I
before
like
the Jags on?
my second option this week is, you guys won't agree with me, but I like the Patriots.
Wow.
I should interject real quick and say that, like Brett, I liked the Jags in week 12 in my completely busted path.
Yeah, I think that's the best play.
Don't the Pats play the Jets at home? Wouldn't you?
I would think they do. So I would just say, Donnie, before you make your final selection, just make sure you have some backup options or whatever for week 12 that don't include the Thanksgiving teams, because there's not going to be too many freebies, I think, that week.
The Pats play the Jets at home, Rich, but it's the final game of the season. And I'm always somewhat a little bit concerned about the final game of the season, who's playing who's doing what, blah, blah, blah. So, if they would have played them in, week 17, I'd feel a lot better about it. But I can't tell you what the hell is going to happen in week 18.
I think that's reasonable. I don't even make a plan for the final week. I just figure that I'll figure that out if I get there.
So this week 12, it's just the Thanksgiving is the island slate. Black Friday counts towards the main slate, right?
Thanksgiving and Black Friday.
There's both.
So there's
4 games.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Because I was going to say Dolphins and Jets is a nice little click there, but that's not part of the main slate. Yeah, these
Right.
games are not
It's like Tennessee, Carolina.
interesting.
Tennessee would be
Oh,
the next
come
best
on.
one.
Indy. Let's go.
Huh?
Indy at home to the Bucks? Let's go. All these old guys on the
Line's gonna
Bucks.
be like -1.5.
No,
or
all these old
something.
guys in the Bucks are going to be on IR by then. They're going to
you
be
gotta
in
tell me.
Cancun.
Speaking of IR, you got to tell me Anthony Richardson makes it to there, not on IR.
Oh yeah,
The way he plays.
he'll be fine. But these Bucks guys, their team, they'll be. Mike Evans will be traded by then. The Bucks are going to be 1-2-3 Cancun.
Bucks might be favored in that game.
Definitely a possibility. So for now, what is the graphic that I'm putting under you?
The Jaguars.
Rah, rah, rah.
Listen, I can't get to week 12 if I don't get through week 3, okay?
I think Jags is the play.
That's a fact.
There's not that, even
Is
this
a
week, there's
fact.
not that many sexy plays.
Minnesota home to Chicago? What are we talking about, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are we talking about?
That week, I had written down Minnesota home to Chicago.
Yeah.
I also
They're
don't
going to be
mind.
-8.
I also don't mind
They might be.
Tennessee home to Carolina. Depending on how that shakes out, but
We just have to make sure Bryce Young's back by then.
Just about to say. As long as
I'm
Bryce
saying
is
Bryce
in
Young
there.
against Vrabel. I'll go with my guy Vrabel. Let's go.
All right. So be sure to check out at Gridiron Gamble, where we will make sure to let you guys know what our official Survivor pick is. And I guess my Texans pick. I will look at these injury reports on Friday and recoup with the boys. And if they do have that queasy feeling, we do have some good vibes about this Eagles. So they will be my backup just in case. Follow these guys on Twitter at Donnie_Peters, at Brett Colson, COLLSON, and at Mo Nuwara, NUWWARAH. I'm at Rich T. Ryan. We'll be back maybe for a recap show, depending how we feel on Sunday, and then I'll be breaking the boxes on Monday morning. Until then, peace.